Good morning, YouTube. I'm still all over the subject of narcissism and the abuse of it and the abuse of them. Because my head's still stuck with the incident I had in the last month with a friend of mine that anyway, I'm stuck there. So then I find myself, my mind drifting back to my former relationships and going, whoa, because I've been watching some videos again about the different strange the more subtle behaviors of these dangerous narcissists. And I was like, wow, I realized a lot of things. And the smirking that they do, at inappropriate times. I just watched one by Sasha Sloan. When you behave badly, what the narc does then. And it's telling, if they underreact, be aware that they're just logging that in to be like, I'll remember that, check. So I'll run them into the ground about this infraction for the rest of their lives. And they'll just keep piling them up. Like, suppose that you got really suspicious of them and you went through their phone, or you went through their wallet, or you went through what, because you're just like, what is going on with this dude? He's jerking me around, and he's in the shower, and you're thinking, I'm going to go through his wallet or whatever. Just for, like back in the day, you would write numbers down, and guys would put them in their wallet, Now you got a phone, and they catch you doing it, and they're just like, oh, baby, I don't know what you're worried about, man. Like, I'm sorry, what? Like, if I saw Lenny going through my phone in a way that he was, like, startled when I found him doing it, I'd be like, babe, can I help you find something? What do you, and I could just tell, like, if he was suspiciously looking through my phone because he didn't trust me, there would be a look on his face. There would be an element there would be an air in the air. There'd be an energy in the air that'd be like, but I mean, if I walked in and he was just like going, and I'm like, hey, babe, what's up? What are you looking for? Oh, I was looking for that picture of the blah, blah. Okay, but if there was at that moment, and when a narcissist catches you, though, they'll say, so they'll downplay it like it's normal because they're doing it to you behind your back. Like, I was like, what? I just didn't even realize that the underreaction, and oftentimes the underreaction will be seen as understanding and forgiveness by your narcissist when they're just like trying to make you think that. Because they want to make you think like you're wrong. You're wrong. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I never even considered that. I've had some incidences and the memories come flooding back of his forgiveness. I remember all the forgiveness for my horrible behavior. Completely just, no one's going to love me like this guy. No one would put up with this shit, but I know, right? My God. And the funny thing is, I was not suspicious. I'm not a snooper. I'm not. I will confess, though, that during the first months of my relationship with Lenny, I had been through so many narcissists. I actually snooped in his house, and the only thing I did was looked at all these blank VHS tapes that were in this bottom drawer in this basement bedroom where his bed was. There was a bottom drawer, and they were lined with blank, unlabeled VHS tapes. And I'm like, well, there it is. There it is. Because I've had porn be used to abuse me as a child. Men that are addicted to porn are completely fucked up. They have no idea how to be intimate whatsoever. I mean, or if they do, they're quickly going to lose it. And I was like, well, there's the stash. I was heartbroken. I grabbed all these tapes, and I started putting them in the VCR. And they were all Westerns, like Gunsmoke and Bonanza. And I went through 10 or 12. And I pulled them from different areas of the, because they were neatly lined up. And then I'm like, so then I went and I'm like rifled through these stacks of magazines. All of them were motorcycle and automotive magazines. And then I was like, all right. I don't think I ever told him. But that was only because of what I had been through. I thought, man, I am really into this guy, and if he's into porn, and if he's going to, he was so great. Then I'm thinking, this guy's too good to be true, man. He's too good to be true! Something's wrong with this dude, something really hardcore. Well, there was a lot wrong with him, as As there's a lot wrong with me, but they weren't things that had anything to do with how he felt or treated me. None of his flaws had anything to do with that. Um, Other than maybe having difficulty spending time with me, enjoying himself because he was so brainwashed to work, work, work till he died. And oh my God, you can't be poor. And geez, you gotta. So that, I mean, but that's not intentional. That's not intentional bad treatment. Like, he wasn't shitty to me. He just wasn't around as much as he could or should have been possibly. But now, we are capable of being more self-sufficient than a lot of people because he did spend that time prepping for his future rather than partying with those people that wondered why he wasn't partying with us every free second he had. So, yeah, I don't know. I think about this one narcissist that my one daughter was with, and the behavior that he put up with from her. But I mean, he provoked much of this. And I'm not saying my daughter didn't have problems and she wasn't a volatile, drunk, and crazy and wild. She was. But she was very capable, very intelligent. She worked. She made a ton of money. And she drank it. She just did. She was just like, I don't know, an uncontrolled tropical storm, But then she got a hold of herself in the midst of this horrific relationship. There was a whole lot of talking to me. That's a fact. But I do see the cleverness of the way the guy would, quote unquote, forgive her drunkenness. I mean, one time he threw her down the steps. He pushed her outside naked. One time she fell in the bushes. I had to drive a half hour, 4:30 in the morning to pick her up. I had to go through the Harbor Tunnel. The next night, she was, this very same calendar day, she was having dinner with him in our town. Where I'm like, and then she calls like, Mom, you should have seen his face, man. I fucked him up. I didn't realize I beat him up like that. And I was like, you guys are sick. Anyway, she stayed with him like another 2 fucking years after that and then left him. And now it's been like 5 years. It's like how fast that went by. But she, in hindsight, now she can see. But at the time, we went back and forth. She could see he was a narcissist, but then his game was so good on her, and she was so needy of this acceptance and love by a guy that actually had a home and had vehicles, because she had never had that before, because she had ran around dating guys that are drug dealers and they needed a ride from her and shit like that. But this was like a huge step up for her. So she was like thinking he was entitled to be an arrogant asshole. I think. I don't know. But she knows now that it's completely ridiculous. She's with a partner that's so good for her. I'm like, wow. And she's attempting to develop herself and her high expectations of him because he's younger, and she's just trying to really understand him. She's like really counseling herself through this new relationship, which is really blossoming and turning out really wonderfully well. It's been over 2 years, so we're starting to, get into the nitty and living together. So it's not like they've been dating; they've been living together, separate from their families in a totally different state. So that's huge. Wonderful young man. Love him very, 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 very much. When you behave badly and the narcissist is so forgiving because they want to be like, look, man, nobody's going to want you like me. Nobody's going to put up with this shit but me. I heard it. I heard that from the first one. Nobody's going to want you. You'll never be able to make it. Bitch. You dumb bitch. You worthless bitch. So many men wanted me, it was ridiculous, actually. Now, most of them probably weren't worth my 2 cents, but tons of them wanted me, narc! Sorry, but they all wanted me. They might only wanted to bone me, but some of them were friendly. Some of them weren't even narcs. I mean, they were, you know what I mean? Since I don't know what you're, like nobody's going to want you. Really? Really? Ugh. I hope your current victim stays ignorant and continues to feel happy until she dies. That's all I got to say, because I don't want anybody to realize that they've lived a nightmare and a lie. I'd rather her die and thinking, no, it was okay, it was all right, and because I don't think she can make it without you at this point. All right. Peace out, YouTube.